Good evening, folks. Cliff here with Fox It Outdoors. I know it's going to be a minute before anybody gets in here, so I'm just going to take care of some visual issues that I'm having tonight. My eye is itchy, so we'll do that for just a brief moment. You all get to see me do this in what? Oh, flushing out the stuff in my eyeballs because I got stuff in there. Well, since it's going to take a while for all y'all to get here, I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to go get. Oh, evening, Rob. I was just about to step out to grab some water. Hey, Daniel, Tiffany, how's it going? Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. When you got backup water in the refrigerator, that's all nice and cold and insulated. Evening, Jason. Good evening, Molly. I know, right? Well, it usually takes a little longer for people to pop in my lives than this, so I was expecting, a 3 minute reprieve before people showing up, but now everyone started popping in right away, which was kind of shocking. Not that I'm complaining, just slightly unexpected. And I didn't saw it off that far. I just had to get my water and I turn that sideways so nobody sees what it is, but those of you who know, you know. Do they have one of these in Arizona? I'm not going to show the logo because I don't want to get whatever. But hey, Colin, how's it going? Fancy seeing you. Ow. Fancy seeing you here. Oh, you know what? I just realized I'm short looking. There we go. Much not short. There we go. Oh, no, that one's not wiener. That one's burger. So they had them in Arizona area. Ah, I feel sorry for Jason because they got more locations. Hold on, here we go. There's like one Whataburger in Tucson, and all of them are Jesus Christ. Well, there's one close to Tempe. Ah. Ooh, that one's temporarily closed. Ooh, Jason, your Whataburger and your ex Whataburger in off of Rural is closed. Rural and Apache. Well, that's unfortunate. That's still a decent, depending on exactly where you were. That's a good drive. I wonder if they're under construction. Well, anyways. Well, I mean, you can get an all beef wiener, but I mean, I'm not gonna complain and cry. Hey, Cecilia, long time no see. How you doing? We missed you last week. And no Ian for the foreseeable future. I'm assuming he's going to be at his mom's until you get your housing situation resolved. And good evening, Macus, Attackus, Smackus, Wackus, Crackus, and Ninja. Also, good evening, Jenny, because I would assume she's like right there behind you or sort of next to you. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed on that one, Colin. Good evening, Grace. How's it going? How was the camping trip? Or have you not gone yet? And apparently, Rob is experiencing pretty beetles. Good evening, Molly. Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Well, because I had some news I wanted to tell you, and I was gonna see if you wanted me to do it so I can get this stupid shit sent off. I was at Walmart the other day, and they had bricks of Zote, like not the little ones that I got, not like the standard hand soaps. Like I'm full on talking like a brick. Like the whole thing was about the same height as same size as my phone, but like that thick. Like it was a brick of soap, and they were like $1.60 a piece. Nice. Just put it by the windowsill, and it'll still go. But I saw when I was over there the other day. Oh, it's a good size for less than $2. I mean, it was like a pound and a. It's like about a 1 pound bar, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, they were freaking huge. I should have grabbed one, but I haven't had time to go back since last week. I haven't stopped at Walmart since then because I had plenty of stuff to sustain me snack wise. Oh, gotcha. They're buried over here in the corner. I just have to go through this whole area, just reorganize it. I can probably. Ah, shit. Ah, I tweaked my arm. I slept with. Ah. Yeah, I have the other four. I think I bought 4 or 5 of them. They're still sitting back there in a bag. I more or less know the general location, but I have to go through that whole pile back there. Basically, from this little white thing to that brown square is just packed on the floor. I got all kinds of stuff under there. Food, receipts, mail, canisters of food. But yeah, I was thinking I can grab a couple of those ones and then just finally get that package sent out towards you. Well, Rob, the only thing I can that's the 3 centimeters. That's what, an inch. This is what, 3.25 centimeters is an inch. So just under an inch. That's a pretty good sized beetle, honestly. Uh, Seed vault kits. Are you talking like the ones that normally come in things like this? Or are you talking like the survival seeds that come in that one that like sealed mylar bag that looks like basically an MRE in a, or not an MRE? Okay, so the survival seeds. Um, it honestly really depends on what you're getting. If you're getting food, herbs, or other being various wildflowers and other things that can be used for medicinal or other treatments. But if it's the ones that come in like, let me see. When my thing decides to let me do what I'm doing. Wow, that sent me right the hell to Amazon. So you're talking something like this one. God damn it, piss off. Like these ones here, Colin. Like the bags that come with all of this. Now, mind you, that's actually for that one. That's a full on like emergency food bag. And the only thing in here that's going to make buying this worth a crap is going to be your lettuce. Well, they got 4 varieties of lettuce and your radishes. Everything else, and maybe cabbage. Maybe, I don't know what the thing is on that one. But you'll be, if you're using something like this in an emergency situation, you're going to be living on lettuce for a while. You'll get your uh, uh, sorry, where am I? The radishes within 28 days, and then spinach is roughly around the same time. So you're basically just going to be eating salad and radishes. Everything else on here takes really, really long to grow. Onions will be probably the only exception because the bulb itself takes a while to grow, but you can still harvest the onion tops or the greens and use that in stuff. But your jalapenos, your sweet banana peppers, your sweet YOLO wonders, all of those are going to take 85 plus days, 90 days from start to finish. Beans, roughly 65 days to 85 days as well. Those are going to take a while. Cantaloupes, again, take a while, and it's kind of a one and done thing. It's not like you're going to get them varieties, throughout the season. It's going to be, you're going to get all your cantaloupes all in one shot. Collards might be the only other one too, because those are greens. Corn is going to take forever. Same with cucumbers. Eggplant takes a while. Honeydew, again, that's up there with, it's essentially a cantaloupe. Honeydew and cantaloupe are pretty much the same thing. Like I said, so kale, you're going to be eating your kale, your lettuces, your spinach, and your radishes. And that's what you're going to be eating for a while until you start getting the rest of the stuff. Tomatoes might be more prevalent as well. Same with the Swiss chard. But yeah, majority of this packet, you're looking at 65 plus days before you get any food. But yeah, if that's what you're talking about for like survival seed packets, then yeah, average is around 20 to 25. Also depends on how big of a thing you're getting. Cecilia, this whole first hour is all about gardening and in your garden, so it's going to be food talk. I apologize if you haven't eaten, but I tried to. I've been doing the last few weeks. I've just been splitting my lives. I've been doing the first hour as just straight garden talk, as strict garden talk as physically possible. It's half of a 70 seed kit. Was it gifted or did you find it or whatnot? Like, what's the short background story behind that one? You know, I can't even spell apparently. I put survival SEDS kits. Jesus. I know we got more. Because I know Augustin Farms does one, I believe. There's a couple of them you can get like little seed packs or seed vaults. It really just depends. Survival Garden Seeds, that's the one I have. That comes in that little tote. And that came with like 18 seed packs, 20 seed packs. But there's different variations, you know, whatnot. This is why I'm broke. That's a interesting company name for seeds. But yeah, it really just, like I said, it just depends on where you find them, what all is in it, who the kit maker is. My only thing with those is I'm just sort of iffy personally on the volume of seeds you will get. Just because that's some of the stuff I think about. But beans will get you a long way. That is for sure. And I am struggling big time on my stuff. The heat over here. Yeah, I hear you on that one. Found it at a bin store for $10. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. Basil beans, beets, bib lettuce, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bush bean, cabbage, cantaloupes, carrots, cauliflower. Cauliflower, you have to do like a cold start to that. I think you have to germinate them in your refrigerator, from what I heard. Because every time I've tried cauliflower down here, I can't get it to go. It just won't do it. Celery is a pain. Cherry tomatoes will probably be good. Corn takes forever. Cucumbers not as long. Eggplant, yeah. French breakfast. I like the breakfast radishes. Kale and kohlrabi. Gotcha. That's half the seeds I got. That's actually not bad for a seed for $10. That's actually a fairly good price. And yeah, Daniel, I'm feeling you on that one. Though you guys are getting a lot more in the triple digits than I am. I think our highest was like 104 so far, 102, around there. But yeah, the heat this year is just making growing anything super, super hard right now. Go hot and windy. Damn, everyone's experienced heat. Winter squash is essentially acorn squash. That's what it is. Feels like 103. Yeah, it's a hot one today. Like, and the worst part is half the time I don't have cloud cover. My eye looks like I got punched. Ha! No, I would not do the electrolytes with the plants because that is not what they crave. Ooh, 114. Yeah, that is going to be extremely detrimental to majority of plants, except for peppers. And my peppers this season are killing me. I normally torture my plants so I can get the heat off from the capsaicin, from the plant stressing and suffering. I have had to water my plants. I am soaking my pepper plants every other day because if I go longer than that, my plant almost dies. Oh, well, see, that's what I thought you were talking about, Colin, because you were talking about seeds, and then you asked that question, so I had I was under the presumption that you were talking about that. I'm like, no, that is not what they crave. But yeah, you have wild mushrooms in the carrots. So the mushrooms are growing out of the carrots or intermixed? Oh no, I don't do electrolytes with my. No, that stuff. Electrolyte water tastes gross. No, I just make sure I stay hydrated. Like like the other night, was it Wednesday? I was out there. I was toast by like 5 o'clock, and during that time period between that and Jason's live, I probably no, actually no, it wasn't even that. Throughout the entire day, I probably chugged an entire gallon of water. I was that dry. Ooh, I'm not a fan of Propel. Tastes weird. I'm getting my electrolytes with Starburst and water. Oh no! Colin's coffee maker took it, bit the farm. Oh, nice. Yeah, I would have just gone without the coffee, personally. But that's me. But yeah, so as the title says, predictions not so good. So description kind of gives more or less a tout as to what I was talking about. I had predicted at the beginning of the season that I was going to have, just for some reason, I just felt it, that it was going to be a really good year. It was going to be a good harvest. I was going to get a lot of stuff for it. I've almost lost already one of my Mexican limes that I propagated in the greenhouse over the wintertime. The top inch of the main leader stem dried up and died off. I don't know what happened there. I have another one almost about to do the same thing, so I relocated them. All of the leaves off of that plant fell off, which was unfortunate. So I relocated that one into a spot where it gets a little bit more sunlight. I'm going to have to do that with the rest of them. But that whole thing, bare stem, just straight little green naked stick. And then about 2 or 3 days after all the leaves, or about a week after all the leaves fell off, it is now starting to produce brand new leaves, which I was super thankful for because I do not want to lose, despite the fact that I could probably just germinate some more of them later on in the season when it's not 1,000 degrees outside. I don't want to do that because it took months to get these things where they are now. So I was really happy that it started growing the leaves back. We'll see what it does the rest of the season. But right now I still have the 7 Mexican limes, my 2 Persian limes, my 2 key limes, and my other orange plants. And if anybody can help me solve this problem other than spraying them off constantly, which I need to go spray my tree off tonight before I go to bed, I needed a really good solution to get rid of scale. I have my citrus trees for some reason keep getting infested with it, and I spray them off, wash them. I hate doing it because it's food I eat, but I keep having to spray them with home defense. Home defense bug spray. And I really don't like doing it because I do not want that stuff getting into the food that I'm going to be consuming. But right now, that is my solution, and I just wait a couple of hours, and then I usually just spray it all off. So if anybody has a better solution to get rid of scale, I would very much appreciate having any sort of that knowledge. I have not tried DE because I just haven't had a chance to go try to find any. So I just don't have any commercial grade DE, which doesn't really work on scale because they're not touching the ground. That'll work on smaller things like ants and beetles, but scale is an entirely different beast. So all I've been doing is just spraying them off with a hose and hoping that when they land out in the sun, it cooks them out there and they don't make it back to the tree. And my other problem is the freaking crazy sugar, the little black sugar ants. Them things are seriously starting to piss me off because they are like infesting my planters. And I feel like no matter how much I spray them with bug spray, they just keep going. But that's where I'm at so far. My corn, on the other hand, my one square patch that I have that looks like forest out there, is actually doing fantastic right now. They're about 4.5 feet tall, 5 feet tall, and 3 of them are already starting to send out the little toppers. So that's good. I've got most of my beans are doing fairly well. I had to stop planting pinto beans because no matter what I was doing, they just were not coming up. Except for 3 that I planted that are sitting behind my truck. Those 3, for some reason, have essentially taken over the triangular column that I have of the tomato trellis. They're almost all the way to the top. And then they're just going to thicken out. I've already, to be honest, I could probably already start harvesting greens off the green part, the green beans off of them, because there's probably like 15 or 20 at the bottom. I was moving stuff the other day and I was pushing branches off to the side and there was just like clusters of them hanging down. I was like, what the heck? I do not have, there I am not going to sit there and wipe 8,000 leaves. Yeah, neem doesn't work with shit. I've tried it. I don't want freaking Google information. I can Google that myself. Like anybody that has home remedies, I'd like home remedies at work. Because again, I try not to spray my plants. I'm trying to keep them as organic as physically possible. And trust me, neem does not work. I have sprayed bugs with neem and they have just continued on like they just got a freaking oil bath and are just ready to go. Neem does not work in my state. Bugs just don't care. I could probably hit them with Raid, but I don't want Raid on my plants because that stuff smells terrible. I suppose if I really wanted to, if I really, really, absolutely necessarily had to, I could smoke bomb my plants or bug bomb them, but I don't want to use a bug bomb either. Because then you got to wash everything, and I just don't feel like sitting there for hours on end trying to wash a container after I bug bombed it. But yeah, so I've got my orange plant is doing whatever it's doing. My lemons and limes are going crazy. I got to majorly trim my lime plant. Because that thing's about 4 feet wide now. It's not growing up, it's growing out, which is driving me insane. So I have to cut branches off to sculpt that plant, but I can't sculpt it right now because it's producing limes for me by the freaking dozen. So I can't quite groom it properly the way I would like to. And I thought I had groomed enough of it off last season, but no, that freaking plant, like in my greenhouse, like tripled in size almost. So let's see. Aside from that, like I said, I've got the one sector of pinto beans that's going really well. I think I'm just going to do that again there next year. My garlic is not doing well. The temperature in my greenhouse is 103 degrees, but it was like 120 when I got home, but I also don't have any plants in there. So if I put anything in there during the daytime, it won't matter how much water that plant has. It will die. Like, let me just show you guys what I'm talking about for my garlic. I keep this shit clean as possible on here. And of course, I got a white tray, so this is going to make this harder than Hades to show you guys. I don't got nothing else to put it on. Hopefully you guys can... Oh, man. I just tossed off a bunch of my starbursts. So here is my issue with my garlic. So far, this is one of the bigger ones. That is one of the medium, more smaller ones. And then I've got these little things. And yes, those are garlic. And I have been struggling because the heat, it just got too hot. And now my plants are 100% suffering. So I did like they recommend on the garlic when the first 3 sets of leaves die, blah, 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 they're ready to harvest or what have you. Yeah, I have been struggling with the garlic this year, and I am not too happy with that because usually I do really well with this, but yeah, I am big time struggling with these right now. I still have more in the ground, but right now, those are the only ones that are doing good. My hardneck garlic did okay. Hey, Blake, how's it going? Long time no see. Nice. I will have to try some. I guess I can go buy some borax and make some borax soap water and spray the crap out the bugs. Yeah, garlic is not easy to grow from seed because standard softneck garlic does not produce seed. Yeah, see that's the problem with the citruses. The citruses are constantly in bloom, so I've always got bees and stuff on there. Where the hell did that? Oh, that fell in my trash can. That's great. Move these over here. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I haven't really gotten any DEs because I don't want to kill my pollinators, as I kind of need them. Yes, even AI overview or whatever the garbage they want to call it, which I really wish they would just get rid of that stuff because that's going to be our downfall, and these morons don't realize that, but whatever. You know, we've only made like 9 Terminator movies that start this exact same way and end up with the downfall of man, but who cares? We'll just keep going, trudging along like we normally do. But yeah, it'll tell you that Hardneck is the only one that produces seeds. I have yet to get a softneck garlic that has actually produced any sort of flower. Garlic is essentially just clone. You get one and you just split it and just keep going. So my garlic here is probably a distant cousin or relative to any of the garlic you guys have grown. Starburst. Should probably stop eating these while I'm on alive. They take forever. So it'll be my last one. I don't know, I just eat them. They only come in like 4 flavors anyway. What hell flavors are these? Yeah, they only come in strawberry, lemon, orange, and cherry. As long as it ain't banana. Daniel, were you and Tiffany growing hardneck or softneck? Guys, Blake, I got like 70 or 80 plants, but they are just not doing well. Like, so far, this was actually one of my larger ones, so I'm probably going to save this one just to use that one for seed stock next year. It's not like I don't have more over there in a jar. I have like a pound of it still sitting over there. Difference between hardneck garlic and softneck garlic. Hardneck garlic, when it's dry, when it's done growing, the stem still stays up, but it's the only one that sends out a little curly cue, like a piggy tail. And if you leave that on there, it goes to flower, and then it produces, shit. I think I still have them in here. It produces these little things. I still got a whole ton of these, but I've never gotten any of them to germinate. Oh, man. I don't even know if these things would germinate still. Essentially, it produces all of these little seeds that look like sunflower seeds. Well, if it produced these little guys, Daniel, it's hardneck. It's the only one that produces a seed pod. Softneck will not produce a seed pod. As far as I know, I have yet to see anybody actually get a seed pod from one of them. So, for my current understanding, hardneck is the only one that produces seeds. I have stuff everywhere over here. So out of touch. Approximately 2 to 3 years. Oh, so even you're struggling. So yeah, so your biggest garlic was roughly the same size as this one. Cecilia, you do realize you live in the one area that makes it super easy to grow hardneck garlic. Yes, 2 to 3 years from seed to grow hardneck garlic. It's for home use, this is a decent size. It's not like the commercial stuff you get at the grocery store, that's, you get a clove of garlic that's the size of a freaking tennis rack or tennis ball. or a racquetball, or hell, for even that matter, a freaking golf ball. But again, they're using chemicals, constant fertilizers, and different methods than how we're doing it normally for household use. Household use, you can get, you get 2 or 3 dozen that size. That's a good amount. I've grown some that were bigger. I got lucky. But, it is what it is. I'm learning where they like to grow, and I'm going from there. I'm trying them in different spots to see where they like it, where they don't. Right now, they do not like it in the sun. They are not doing well. So I have to move them into a shady area. I grew my hardneck garlic one year in the shade near my house. It basically gets a couple of hours of sunlight in the morning and a couple of in the afternoon. And they were doing fine. That's where I got all my piggy tails from last year when I did that piggy tail video. It depends on like I said, it depends on the nutrients, and it depends on where you're growing them. They prefer a more shady area to direct sunlight. I think the requirement is like 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, but it can be partial sun and partial shade. So they're kind of, they're needless to say, it's a really stubborn plant, and it's kind of a pain to grow. Oh, damn it. I just dumped my garlic everywhere. Shit. Stupid plant, stupid table tray fell over, and I have garlic all over my desk. But yeah, so little tiny garlics. And for those wondering, that is actually 3 garlic cloves. That's 3 of them in there. 3 little pieces. This one is 2. Doesn't look like it, but you can kind of see where the shading gets dark right there. That's a second one. But this little guy right here, 1 single one. It looks like a seed onion, but it is not. It has that distinct garlic flavor. Ooh, that guy did not do well. I might plant some of these just to have them planted, just to see where I can get with them. You know what? I'm gonna dump them in there. That way I ain't got to worry about them falling over again. All right, it's a good thing I got containers everywhere. You can go down there. I don't need you. Oop. That can go in there. Camera, please. Yep, tons of garlic, no vampires. Yeah, that's a big problem right there. Is cats and dogs. They will if they smell something they like, they'll dig it out. And I believe dogs will actually just eat garlic. I believe. Yeah. So Colin's got easy access to wild garlic, it says, and same with Rob on the road. Yeah, just liberate a couple of plants and then just grow them at your house. If I can get so I have hardneck garlic. I had planted it in multiple locations. 2 out of like 18 of the plants that I think it's like 20 plants, sent out the little curlicue. I actually have them sitting on my counter. They've been there for about 2 or 3 days now. I cut those off the other day because I want to send more nutrition or nutrients to the plant itself to get a bigger bulb, so I can try this again next year. My phone's sitting right here. I haven't seen it go off. But yeah, that's how I am slowly managing to maintain my hardneck garlic, is just by growing it every year. If I can get 3 or 4 this year, I can save 1 or 2, and then I can grow them next year, do the same thing. But again, I am learning the zones currently for my garlic, where I need to grow them. And I am still struggling on the frequency of when to water the garlic. I'm like at 1 to 2 weeks right now, and the dirt a couple of inches down is still wet, so I might have to go 3 weeks or sometimes maybe even a month in between watering. I've got my solid bin out here, which has like 40, 40 or so cloves, and I haven't watered that one. I haven't soaked it in weeks. Yeah, see, so you're doing the same thing I'm doing down here, trying to figure out where we're all. Sorry, you and Tiffany are doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out different locations to certain plants to figure out where they're going to grow better. As of right now, my pinto beans are growing in one spot absolutely fantastically, which I'm just going to continue that trend, but I'm going to extend the unit that I'm going to do them on. So let me see if I can, since I got paper everywhere. And I'll see if I can find my pencil that actually works. Damn it. God had a bug on me. So I'm going to kind of give you guys more or less a diagram of what I've got, what I'm trying to do, or what I'd like to do. Can I do with this? Ooh, I can actually. Yeah, made through that pencil lead pretty quick. Now comes the fun parts. Yes, I'm doing a rather extensive diagram just so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, so I can show you without having to try to explain it like an idiot. So that's essentially what most of my planters look like, my steel troughs. Right now on one side, so I will do this. I'll see if you guys can read that. Yeah, that works. So top side's where I have my truck. Mind you, it's actually facing this way, so my truck is here, street's that way. I have it's hard to write it with a pencil on a soft desk. All right, so that's essentially how I have it set up. So I've got this little triangular style tomato trellis, which is about 6 feet high. And then I have pinto beans on that side. About halfway across is not halfway, but apologies. I have this back half as garlic. I've got like 2 rows back here that are doing fantastic. Everything in the front just kind of kicked the bucket, or I tried to pull them out and they broke off, so I got to dig them out. But this thing I have covered with wood mulch that I cut myself, or that I made myself with my wood chipper. But this whole triangular setup is going fantastic. Now what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to do the same thing here on this side, and then I'm just going to put little poles so they go across. So I'm essentially going to have kind of like a diamond. I'm going to do this to where it looks not stupid. So I'm going to have essentially the next one I'm going to do next year in that same container is going to look like this. So I'm going to have the 3 triangle structural supports on the end, and then I'm just going to link them together with pieces in the middle. It might be a little shorter than I want, but that'll actually be good for me in the long run because then I'll have more room for the, what do you call it, the roots to grow out in the planters. I'm not using those spiral posts because I'm not growing any tomatoes right now. I have not planted a single tomato this season because I knew they weren't going to do it. I knew they weren't going to make it. It's too hot. It got way too hot, way too damn fast. Well, thanks to this, I just went halfway around this and traced it. So yeah, I can't draw freehand for shit because I'm a terrible artist. But no, I'm using they're the green ones, those like green sticks that have kind of like the texture on the outside. They're basically just like aluminum poles coated in poly, and then they come with the little clips. It's like an arm that's like that, and they just snap it on there. I'm just using those because the snap clips, the rods or rails, I can grab. I can get those easy. They just sell them by the pack. Usually get about 9 of them for $3 or $4. And then the poles are really pretty much good until the plastic coating starts to fall off. Once the plastic coating starts to fall off, then the pole's pretty much useless. Most you can do after that is either bend it, break it apart, cut it, or just use them as like marker poles. But that's essentially what I'm using. Now the squiggly lines were just to represent poles that didn't look like just generic straight lines. But yeah, that's what I've got going so far in there. Uh, pinto beans seem to, like I said, the pinto beans seem to be doing really well in that spot. So I'm just going to continue there. And I think next year I'm going to reseed my garlic in the planters next to it because I think they'll be doing way better there than where I have them currently. They are just getting too much sunlight, and I think they're just cooking. So that's my game plan for next year. Then again, I might just try it again this year because I've got plenty of time to grow this stuff even again. I'm pretty sure I can just break what I have up in here, throw that out in the garden, and in a couple of months have some more. Maybe if I'm lucky. I will see. I'll probably do that next week after I'm done working at my neighbor's house. I'll throw some more garlic in there just for you guys, and maybe by the end of the season I'll have more, and we'll see what happens from there. Yeah, I never planted garlic except for certain times of the year because that's usually when everybody says plant it. So I will try my best to see what I can do outside of the norm. I am still working on getting winter corn. Yeah, gotta get that greenhouse. Greenhouse is the way to go. I still have to set up my 8x12. I have just not had a chance to do it because I've been way too busy with work and doing other stuff around the house. Trying to maintain the property. We had that one couple of good days of rain and the weeds went crazy out here. I've been picking weeds constantly. Yeah, we'll get to it in the thing over here in a minute. Because I'm trying to stay slightly focused here on this one. I think that's the Patriot Seed Vault. I think that's one of their off-brand ones. But yeah, that's a good one. Still haven't had a chance to do the chickens. I was hoping to get them this year. I keep thinking I'm going to go and get them, but the problem is where I want to put the chicken coop, I physically cannot right now because there is a vehicle parked in the way. And in order to move the vehicle to an area where it can easily just be removed from the yard, I'd have to move 8 planters, my bird bath, which the birds know exactly where it's at. They're always over there, and along with the bees and wasps. And then I would have to cut down like 30 or so sunflowers that are like 3-4 feet tall. Guess I can. Give me a second. So that's apparently what Colin picked up for like $10. My camera doesn't want to focus on it because my fat head's in the way. There we go. It's going to be impossible on my phone for you guys to read any of this stuff down here, but oh yeah, for $10, yeah, that's like I said, the average price of those anywhere between $20 and $25 depending on what's in it. So for $10, yes, that's a good price. Ooh, man, that hour went by quick. It's against the law in Arizona to own chickens. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 35 seed packs. That's not bad. Probably just because it gets too hot for them and they probably spontaneously combust. Because, that's how that goes. Blake, you still in here? Or did you pass out already? Just say hi to everybody and everybody just disappears. Even Rob. Where'd Rob go? Rob, you still in here, you stinker? What was it, like 10 people at the beginning of this thing? It's all good. It is what it is. I got people watching, so I'm still happy. So let y'all know we got 3 minutes and 20 seconds before I unalive this live, and then start round 2 with beverages. I have drunk. I'm on my second batch of water. I already finished off my main water bottle earlier. That one's completely empty. I may get a refill later. Who knows? I've just been cheating at night. I've just been throwing this sucker in the fridge before I go to bed and sits in there for 8 hours at night, and then come back after work, and this thing's nice and cold. But yeah, we will definitely continue the garden talk. This is just the main brunt of whatever is going on, what I'm doing. I still have yet to get the last of the lumber, the free lumber, to finish my other garden box. I am just waiting on that so I can... Actually, no, I think I have enough. I picked up 2 of them the other day, but they were kind of warped, so I don't know. I might use them, I might not. But if I can get that one finished, I can start that one, then I can start getting the dirt in there so I can start growing some more stuff. I don't know if I want to grow more beans in that one or if I'm going to do squash. At this point this year, I have not done cantaloupe, which I did last year, and I have not done acorn squash. I think right now it's too hot to start the acorn squash. Same with the cantaloupe. I do have, in the back of the house, though, I do have cucumbers growing. I should probably go and water those tonight before I do anything else, because they're growing, but they're not growing. And the annoying part is I planted 16 seeds and only 3 or 4 of them germinated, which is kind of really bad. So I need to make sure I save seeds from the cucumbers this year, so I know what I have. And I got to label them better. I'm terrible. I have a bad habit of wrapping things up in paper towels, telling myself, oh, I'm going to remember what's in here, and then I don't. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, I think the reason why a lot of places, in my opinion, why they don't let you have certain items is because they do not want you to be self-sufficient. They want you to rely on the powers that be that in the long run are just going to straight up stick you right in the keister with a fat one before they provide you with actual any help. Is they want you to be reliant on the powers that be, and I'd rather not. So that's where that's at. But anyways, folks, do me a favor on the way out. Hit that thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. I'm assuming everybody that's in here has already done so. That's why you all are here. But share this out with friends and families if you can and whatnot. And then we'll catch you guys on the next one in about 2-3 minutes. I'm going to grab another second half of the beverages, and I will see you on the next round. This is going to be Foxy Outdoors signing off. You all be well, be safe, and please do everything that I would do.